In today's video tutorial, we are going to look at sentence completion task in IELTS reading module. Uh, look at this structure of the course. We have done so far 4 lectures, and this is our 5th lecture, which is sentence completion, and this is part of IELTS reading module. We have already covered MCQs and now sentence completion, because these two are very important, and most students need guidance in these, and they cover other things as well. So let us jump in topic. So what is to be done in sentence completion task? You will be provided with a number of incomplete sentences which you need to complete using information from the reading text. The passage has everything in it. You need to just look for it carefully. Generally, you must complete the statement in 3 words or fewer. So once again, I would say that you have to confirm word limit with the instructions. So read the instructions very carefully and see what does the question say about the word limit. Do not ever go above over the word limit, because you will not get any credit for that. Now, what is being tested here? Your ability to skim for general information, read for details, and understand paraphrase in the incomplete sentences. The incomplete sentences are kind of paraphrase of the actual text. So you need to understand what the actual text says, and if it is said in a different way or in different words, can you still understand that? This is what is being tested. Now these 3 skills are explained on the following slide, so stay tuned, and I'm sure that this is going to be a very useful presentation for you. So let us talk about skimming and scanning first of all. If you are exploring or reviewing, you might skim a document. Your eyes move across the page. Now, this is the difference between skimming and scanning. So eye movement is very important. In one, which is skimming, the eyes move across the page. You go from the left to the right, and you start skimming. If you are searching for information, you might scan for a particular word. Your eyes move down the page. You might have done this in many occasions, on many occasions. If you are quickly reading through skimming, you go from left to right, and if you are looking for a word or for a date, you might have seen that you start from the top of the page and you go sometimes zigzag down the page. That is called scanning. So both of these are very important skills, and you need in your IELTS reading module when you are reading the text, because texts are sometimes long. Obviously, I gave you the word limit in one of my previous lectures. Skimming is used to quickly identify the main ideas of the text. So what is the main idea of a text? You do skimming to find it out, or what kind of different ideas have been discussed, because once you know what is discussed, what are the main ideas, you can then tune your mind according to that, and you look for the information, you find information easily and quickly. Skimming is done at a speed 3 to 4 times faster than normal reading. So you might have noticed that sometimes you use your finger to go across the page and come down, or sometimes you use 2 or 3 fingers or hand to skim. This is a good way, because your eyes movements are aligned with your hand movement, so it is done very fast. People often skim when they have lots of material to read in a limited amount of time. So this is ideal situation in IELTS reading exam. It's not that you have been given a lots of text to read, but texts are long, sometimes they are hard. So that's why you need to skim and scan, and also you should have the ability to read very carefully and quickly and with full understanding and comprehension. Use skimming when you want to see if an article may be of interest. So this point is probably before actually going for the test, because you don't have many texts available in the actual exam where you have to choose. No, I mean, when you are practicing for IELTS, and when you want to read different articles on a topic, for example, so you can just skim through it quickly and see whether this is useful or not. If it is useful, then you can read it in detail. So that develops a habit and as well as skill in you to find out what is good, what is bad for you in reading. How skimming is done: read the first and the last paragraphs using headings. Read the title, subtitles, subheadings, and illustrations. Read the first sentence of each paragraph. Why read the first sentence of each paragraph? Because that is the topic sentence and it determines the topic of the paragraph. You remember one thing, very, very simple. One paragraph means one idea or one topic. So if you stuff 3 or 4 topics in one paragraph, that is the wrong approach. So if you read the first line or first 1 or 2 lines of a paragraph, you get the gist of what is being discussed in that paragraph, and that gives you an idea, an overall impression of the passage. Skimming works well to find dates, names, and places. So these are some of the points of skimming. Now comes reading for detail. This is where you should be very good at, because different types of questions can only be attempted successfully when you have the skill for deep reading or reading for detail. When you skim, you get an idea about the topic. Read thoroughly and quickly, keeping in mind the theme or topic. See that when you skim a text, a passage, you just get an idea of what is being discussed. Now that is in your mind, you know what you can expect from the passage. For example, the passage, the first, I mean, couple of lines or paragraphs, or after you're skimming, you came to learn that this is about global warming. Now, whatever is being discussed in that, it would be about global warming or stuff related to that. So you don't have to stop and think, okay, all right, what is it about? Because you already know that it's about global warming. So if there is a different type of terminology, or if there is a specific terminology, then you know that this is about global warming. So it gets your mind ready for a topic. Skimming gives you an idea where the actual details are, and then focus on those areas while reading. That's a very Next, understanding paraphrase. This is a good technique to find the correct choice when you understand the paraphrase. Paraphrase gives you an idea of the whole text and the topic under discussion. Very simple. It is easy to guess what fits next, keeping in view the context. So paraphrasing is simply the story mentioned in simple and straightforward way. So if you know the main topic or the theme of a passage, and obviously it would have some technical language, some difficult language, paraphrasing would kind of summarize that or say it in a nice fluent language. So you should understand both of them. This will help you to find your answer. How to approach sentence completion task, step 1. Now we will be doing step by step things, step 1, step 2, and so on. And if you are practicing reading these days, try to apply these steps in your reading practice, and let me know how it is going or how it is helping you. And I mean, obviously we can kick off a discussion in the comment section. It would be very good to know whether something is useful or whether something is not useful, so we can talk about that and sort out some solution. Read the instructions carefully. That is extremely important. Note that in the sample task, you must only use words from the reading passage, and that you may use no more than 3 words to complete each sentence. Yeah, that is very important. word limit, and don't start guessing because everything is in the text. So use the text to answer your questions. Step 2. Briefly read through all the incomplete sentences to get an idea of what information you will have to find in the text. Yes, when you are reading the whole sentence along with the blank space, you get a rough idea, and then you know, because you have already read the text, you know where to look for the information. Step 3. Read the first sentence more carefully because it is the topic sentence in most cases. Decide what information you will need. Step 4. Once you have found the relevant section of the reading text, look back at the incomplete sentence and decide what specific information you need to complete it. Now, when you have that, you read the sentence carefully once or twice and see whether the rest of the sentence is compatible with the blank space that you have and the words that you have found out to use that. So fit in those words there and then read the sentence along with those. It will give you an idea that whether that is okay or not. Step 5. Read that part of the text more carefully to find the answer. Remember that the correct answer you find in the text should fit in the incomplete sentence grammatically. Otherwise, you may need to look for another answer. Yes, that is grammar is obviously one of the yardsticks, one of the criteria to understand whether the answer is correct or not. So for example, you have an incomplete sentence. You picked up a word or two words which you think are okay, and when you fit in the blank space, now read the sentence. Does that make sense, and is it grammatically correct? I will give you examples in later stages of this presentation, so don't worry about that. If everything is going well, then obviously your answer is correct. Okay. In some tests, the instructions will not say using words taken from the text, in which case you can use your own words and change the form of the verbs in the reading text. Yeah, if it says that use the words from the text, then obviously you don't use your own words, or you don't use any paraphrasing. Just copy and paste the words from the text. Follow the RPC method. What is that? Read the sentence R, look for transitional words and clues for figure out what the sentence means. Transitional words are, however, nonetheless, on the other hand, contrary to this. So that tells you whether the information that is coming after this is opposite to the one that is before that word, contrary, contradicting, or is it addition? So that gives you an idea. Next, proposed word. Process of elimination if proposed word is not an answer choice. Elimination we have already talked about in one of our previous lectures. So irrelevant things should be eliminated first, and then you think whether this word fits or no. If no, then think of another word which fits in that sentence, and then see what is the actual word in the text for that, and check your work. See the examples on the next slide. For example, now this is the example of RPC. Rome was not built overnight. On the contrary, the development was something. Now this sentence has two parts. One is red, I think. I'm not very good at colors, so I think this is red, and one is in blue. So we have wonderful, unexpected, advantageous, sufficient, and gradual. Okay, now look at the explanation. If you consider only the blue part of the sentence, all options fit well in the blank space. So for example, forget about this. Forget about all right, not forget about that. On the contrary, the development was wonderful, the development was unexpected, the development was advantageous, the development was sufficient, the development was gradual. You see, every option fits well here when we read the blue part of the sentence only. Okay, now follow the RPC. Look for the clues in transitional words. We have overnight here. Let me choose the pencil. We have overnight here. We have contrary here, and then we have a blank space. So overnight means obviously overnight, very quick, fast. Contrary means opposite, so it means something which is not fast. Okay, so let us make it very simple. Overnight, quick. Contrary would be not quick. Or overnight, fast. Contrary would be not fast. Okay, now we have fast, not fast, quick or slow. So we have to find some word that is synonym to slow. Overnight means very quickly, and contrary means opposite. Obviously, this is what I explained. Propose a word now. So how did we propose? So quick and slow. So we propose slow. Yeah. So overnight, S. Okay. So slow. Now the synonym of slow. A through D should be eliminated because they are not possible quick or overnight. So wonderful, it's not slow. Unexpected is not slow. Advantageous is not slow. Sufficient is not slow. It is E which gives opposite sense of overnight. It is E which gives opposite sense of overnight. And what was the meaning of overnight here? Fast. Okay, I mean this is for our own information or practice or conception. So opposite of overnight overnight was fast, and opposite of overnight is slow, and there's only one word which fits in this definition, that is gradual. Now read the sentence. Rome was not built overnight. On the contrary, the development was gradual, means slowly, gradually, stage-wise. Okay, so you understand this is RPC. This will definitely help you, and it is a very, very useful skill. Next, although she expected to get promoted in 2021 because of her hard work, her boss something her for her occasional lateness. Now, what are the key words here? Although and expected. You can see that these are opposites. Expected gives positive sense. Okay, although gives a strong clue that the italicized clause would make a word with negative meaning. Italicized is this her boss, this one. Yes. Now propose. Also, what is proposed? Approved, denied, and propounded. Proposed gives a positive sense. Approved gives a positive sense. Denied gives a negative sense, and propounded gives a positive sense. All right. So what was the expected? Okay, expected gives a positive sentence. Although is the sentence opener here, and we could see that it tells us that something is going to be the opposite of this positive sense. Although she was good, but or however. So that means that although sets the tone and tells you simply that you have to find the opposite sense of this word or some word which means the opposite or contrary. So what is the correct option? The correct option is C, denied. This is the only option which gives a negative connotation. This is the positive one. Yeah, so that is how you have to choose. Grammatical clues. For example, I am now at Reading University. It's great. Something, students are very friendly. I have got a really good art teacher too. Now, one is his, those, her, the. Analyze each option grammatically and choose the best one. Let us analyze. Can we say that his students are very friendly? I mean, I am now at the university. It's great. His students are very friendly. I have got whose students? We have not talked about any teacher. There is no mention of any teacher, so this is wrong. Those students are very friendly. It is used to refer to four of things. This is wrong. Those, we haven't talked about any students, so we can say that, oh, those students were. All right. Her, same as his, so this is same for his. I mean, we haven't talked about a male teacher. We haven't talked about a female teacher. The specific students that the person mentions, and he, she knows them. That is the correct option. The students are very friendly. He's or she's not saying, whosoever this I is, he or she is not saying that all the students in the university. She's only saying the students she knows or the student he knows. So that is the correct option. You see that? That's how you use some grammatical. Another example of grammatical clues. Thanks for your invitation, something. I am sorry we can't come. Now, the first option is so, then, because, but. We have two sentences in the given example. One before the blank space and one after the blank space. Thanks for your invitation, one sentence. I am sorry we can't come. Okay. Option A and B are adverbs. Look at this. So, and B. C and D are conjunctions. These are conjunctions. Two sentences can be joined by conjunctions, not by adverbs. That is simple. See, this guy is doing some joining. So here you need to use a word that joins these two sentences. Okay. So thanks for your invitation. What do you think about that? Because or but? The answer is but. I am sorry we can't come. You can look at this example in a different way as well. Thanks for your invitation is a positive thing. I am sorry we can't come is a negative thing. So positive and negative cannot be joined by because, they are joined by but. Okay. Right. Let us go in detail about adverbs and conjunctions. You know it very well, I tell you. Adverbs tell us how something is done. So these are verb and adverbs. So they add more meaning to a verb. Whereas conjunction are joining words, they join sentences. For example, Tom and Sarah is an honest and reliable person. In the given sentence, we cannot use option A and B. I mean, we are talking about the previous example. These are adverbs. Option C and D are conjunctions, so we have to use them. So we are talking about the previous example. Now we have to decide between C and D, because and but. Okay, so thanks for your invitation, but or because, one of them is used to give reason as an extension of the logic mentioned earlier. Because is when you have to explain something, when you have to give reason something, whereas but is used for contrast. Okay, thanks for your invitation, I am sorry I can't come. Okay, so see that there is a contrast. I told you the first one is positive, the second one is negative. So but is used for this one. If the first statement is positive, the second would be negative, or if the first statement is negative, the second would be positive. For example, he is intelligent but very lazy. The first one is positive, the second one is negative. So he is very lazy but intelligent. Negative, positive. So based on this logic, D is the correct option, which is I am. No, thanks for your invitation, but I'm sorry we cannot come. Okay. Take care of singulars and plurals. This is another good way of deciding which word to go in. Obviously, you're not doing a grammar exercise, but I'm saying, and you wouldn't be having these types of is, am, are, or has, or have, or button, because a type of simple sentence completion. No, you won't have these type of things, but I'm just trying to emphasize the fact how you can analyze, how you can use your reasoning to find out which is the correct word for the blank space. Sarah and her friend going on holiday. Now the correct answer is obviously are, but how do we do that? Most students choose A because friend is a singular. Not most students, not you, I'm saying, but they tend. Why? Because friend is a singular, but the use of conjunction and means two people. Sarah and her friend, these are two people, so two people take a plural verb. Example 4. The plumber something yesterday. So this is another grammatical example. Is fixing the sink, was fixing the sink, has fixed the sink, or fixed the sink. The clue in the example is yesterday. That is an important word to know. So the only option that fits in the blank is option D, fix the sink. Okay. How? Yesterday and simple present, present continuous, past continuous, or any perfect sentences cannot come together. You remember one thing, very simple formula. On the next slide, I will also mention it. Yesterday means simple past. Okay, so which sentence is in simple past? Fix the sink. That's the correct option. Right, here we go. If you have yesterday, last night, last month, last year, even last minute, even last century, whatever word or timing has last with it, you need to use simple past form. I bet, I guarantee you, you will never make a mistake. If you see any of the above, it is a simple past, very simple thing. Contextual clues. What are contextual clues? Contextual clues means a text in its context. Okay, so in its context means where it is sitting, where it is situated. You can take out one word out of the context and it can mean different, so you have to see things in contextual perspective. Queen Elizabeth II was born on April 21st, 1926. She was married to Prince Philip something. Her eldest son, Prince Charles, got married to Lady Diana, who lost her life in a car accident. Now, look at this thing and see what contextual clues I mean. The Queen goes to bed at 11 p.m. daily. Okay. If you look at this, she was married to Prince Philip and she goes to bed at 11 p.m. daily. Fine. It looks nice, but in this context, it does not fit. Her grandson Prince William got married on April 29, 2011. It also fits well if you don't look at the context. The Queen has 4 children. It seems fine. The Queen goes to Scotland for holidays every year, and that seems fine too. But now, before the blank space, the Queen's marriage is mentioned, and after the blank, her son's marriage is mentioned. Except for option C, all other options are out of context. Look at this. Okay, this is the correct answer. Why? So they are irrelevant to the topic under discussion, that is Queen's family. Now, Queen Elizabeth, and she was married to, so this is marriage life and the family life. Okay, her eldest son. After the blank space, we can see that it is talking about eldest son. Now, if it is eldest son, then obviously there must be some other children. So the Queen has 4 children, sits well here. And then out of those 4 children, we are only talking about the eldest son. So marriage, children, eldest son. You can see that step. Step 1 is marriage, step 2 is children, and step 3 is out of those children, the eldest son. You can see that this one fits well in this context. Contextual clues second. My best friend Sarah is studying history with me. She's a very hard-working student. She is now married to an Italian man. Now, if you don't look at this sentence, okay, everything fits well, it seems. She is married to an Italian man, perfect sentence. She is a loving person, great sentence. She is working on her dissertation these days, perfect sentence. She is living in London. You can see that without this sentence, every option fits well here. But let us now look at that. The first sentence of the paragraph has determined the topic, studies. Now, this sentence talks about studies. So the topic is studies. You can see that this topic sentence talks about or sets the tone. Option A, B, and D tell us about Sarah's marital status. This one, a loving person, her nature, and whereabouts, living in London, where does she live, respectively, which are 3 different topics. So marriage, nature, and residence, 3 different topics. Option C tells us about her studies, and this is why this is the right choice. Okay, working on her dissertation these days. Now look, she is very hard-working student. Now still she is working on her dissertation these days. That is how you fit in the things. Clue words. There are some transitional words on the next slide. These words tell you what kind of information is coming next. For example, contrast, addition, agreement. As I told you before, that the transitional words give you a clue what to expect next. If you know what comes next, it is easy to fill in the blank space in the word or sentence. Okay, let us look at. So these are some of the transitional words. For example, and you can use them for writing as well when you're writing your assignment. Agreement. If the first sentence and the coming sentence, the next sentence, are in agreement, then you will have also in the sentence, in addition, further, and so on. If there is a contrast, like we did the thanks for your invitation, and but I'm sorry we cannot come, so you know that both sentences were contrast. Okay, so you have to pick one of these. If there is a contrast between the first sentence and the second sentence. If there is no contrast between the first sentence and the sentence after the blank space, then you would look for these words. If you find these words in a sentence, so it means that you have to use them. Okay, if there is no contrast. Sequence. So for example, there is a list, first, second, third. You can expect what is the fourth thing in that. Consequence. This is where you have to use because as a result of that. Okay, so if you know these words and if you use them, I tell you it would be very useful not only to do sentence completion, it will help you in note completion, it will help you in summary completion, and on top of everything, it will help you in writing, because examiners, every reader loves to see these transitional words in your sentences, because that brings a variety in your sentences as well as beauty in your writing. I hope you understand that, and I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. If you have any question, just let me know. Okay, bye.